Hi, today I'm going to show you a quiz program. This one's about music, but you can make it about whatever you want. How many strings does a violin have? 4. How many beats are there per measure in 2/4 time? Well, if you're a musician, you probably know that's 2. And in what family of instruments is the piano? Well, it's got strings. Is it in the strings family? No, the answer is percussion. We got 2 right and 1 wrong. Let's go into Python and I'll show you how this program works. Whenever you run the program, the answers appear in a random order. Yeah, they're kind of shuffled. There's a feature in Python that does this. There's a shuffle function in the random module. So now shuffle is available. If I make a list of some numbers, and show them to you there, then I want to shuffle them. This is how I do it. And now they're shuffled. And every time I call shuffle on that list, it shuffles them. See, that's a different order now. You can also do that on large ranges. You could say nums equal range 100. Now we have all these numbers ordered from 0 to 99. And shuffle that. And now they're all mixed up. Okay, so that's one little lesson about how to shuffle a list of things. Next is how the program stores the questions and answers. And to know about that, we need to learn about tuples. And a tuple, so let's see, we have a question and answer. And we set that to this. So the question would be how many beats per measure, and the answer would be 2. So that's a question and answer. It's kind of a two-part thing. QA has 2 parts. And if you want to get the question out of it, you use this notation. If you want to get the answer out of it, you use this notation. So that's kind of a way to store a 2-part object, something with 2 pieces. In this case, a question and answer. Now, this is what we want to do is a little more complicated because we have more than one question. So what if we were to say questions and answers, plural, equals, and then we have a list, and then I'll go to the next line, and now we'll put in some tuples, like how many beats, 2, and a comma, next line, and another tuple. And let's see, something else about music. What is a drum stick made out of? Usually the answer is wood. So now we have 2 questions here, and now I'm going to put a closing square bracket, and now QAs is a list of tuples. So it's a list of 2 tuples. Each tuple has 2 things. So let's look at how we could get things out of this list of tuples. Well, if we say QA's 0, like this, we get the first tuple. If we say QA's 1, we get the second tuple. Now think about how we might get the first question out of the first tuple. Well, to get the first tuple, that was this. And we want to now extract the first part of that tuple. So if you thought about doing this, that was right. That gets the first. And notice that we start counting with 0. So when I say first, I mean number 0. What if you wanted to get the answer for the first question? What would you do? We do that. What if we want to get the second question? What about the second answer? Do you get the idea? You see what's happening? Okay, so that's an important part of this project. Now, we need a way to present the questions. So we have QAs, which is the questions and answers, And we want to have some kind of loop so that we can ask every question. So what if we say something like for question and then the right answer in QAs. What this will do is it'll go through every question and it will take the question and store it in this variable question. It'll take the answer and store it in this. So just to demonstrate what this would do, I can say print the question is and the answer is. So this loop here should show all the questions and answers. There it is. The question is how many beats is what that was supposed to be, huh? Okay, how many beats? And the answer is 2. And what is a drumstick made out of? And the answer is wood. All right, so with the for statement like that, we can get the question and the answer out. Now we need a way to know if the answer was right. Well, actually, we have to use raw input too. Let me start putting this into NetBeans here. So we have from random import shuffle, and then we have some, and I'm just going to save some typing here. I'm going to paste this in. Here are 3 questions. So you remember that QAs is a list containing 3 tuples. Each tuple has 2 parts, a question and an answer. Now we want to shuffle the questions. Now they'll be shuffled. And then we want to set up this loop here for question, answer in QAs. And then we want to use raw input. Maybe you've used raw input before to get the answer to a question. So this is how we'll ask the question. So we say answer is raw input and then the question. And I'm going to add a space after the question. Now we need to see if the answer that the person typed is the correct answer, if it matches the correct answer. So we'll say if answer equals the right answer, then print right. Else print no, the answer is right answer. And then at the end, we need to keep track of how many we have right, so we need a variable for that. So we'll say numRight is 0, because at the beginning we have answered 0 right. Then at the end, we need to say print you got some number right and some number wrong. And then we plug in the number right. And then how can we calculate the number that we're wrong? Let's say you have 3 questions and you got 1 right. How could you get the 2? Well, you could say you could say the number of questions minus the number that were right. And that'll give you the number wrong. The problem with typing a 3 here is, what if you want to add a 4th question or remove a question? So we don't want to have a 3 here because we would have to change it later. So instead, we'll use this function to get the length of the questions and answers. So since QAs here has a length of 3, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, then length of it will be 3. Okay, so let me just look this over again to see if I have it right. So we import shuffle so we can use it. We create the questions and answers, a list of these tuples. We shuffle the list. We set the numWrite counter to 0. We have a loop here where we, one by one, extract the question and the right answer from QAs. Then we call raw input, presenting the question and a space after it. The space after it is just to make it look nice when you type it in, so your answer doesn't come up right next to the question mark. And then we want to know if the answer was right. If it is, we print right. Otherwise, we print no and what the answer really is. And then here we say you got some number right and some number wrong. Okay, so one little bit that's missing is when we find one that's right, we have to add one to the counter. One other thing we want to do is somebody might type in percussion or whatever their answer is with all caps or with some combination of uppercase and lowercase letters, and so we don't want to have that cause the answer not to match the right answer. So what we'll do is we'll call this function to convert it to lowercase first. And let me just demonstrate what that does. If you have like ABC and you convert it to lower, then you get that. And so if I want to say ABC equals ABC, well, it doesn't, because one is capitalized, the other is not. But if I say ABC.lower equals ABC, well, that's true. They do match. Okay, I think I have everything here. Let me run it. And how many beats are there per measure in 2/4 time? Well, are there 3? No, the answer is 2. In what family of instruments is the piano? Percussion. Right. How many strings does a violin have? 4. Right. You got 2 right and 1 wrong. Okay, there we have it.